So this video is about your next project, your Opposing Viewpoints project. I've posted that assignment online. It's in a folder called Opposing Viewpoints Project Number 1, the same place where this video is. So you can watch the video and you can look at the actual assignment. So what this project is as you can see from reading the assignment, what you're supposed to do is write a dialogue between two people who have different opinions on the ways in which we use racial slurs, whether they should be used or not, and the reasons for that. So you could look at, I give in the essay assignment that I give you an example of creating a dialogue between somebody who agrees with Jaymu Green and somebody who agrees with Ta-Nehisi Coates. So Jaymu Green feels that we should abandon certain kinds of racial slurs for everybody. Nobody should be allowed to, whereas Ta-Nehisi Coates says that people who are of a particular group should be able to use those slurs. So what you're going to do is you're going to write a dialogue between two people who have different opinions. Now, those people cannot be the authors of any of the essays that we've read. They're going to be two people. One of the classic things that students do is they create a dialogue between two people two students who have been in class, who have been reading some of these essays, and they have different reactions to them. And so let's say after class, on the bus on the way home, or in a coffee shop somewhere, something like that, they have a discussion about this. When they have this discussion, realize that since they've been in class, again, they don't have to be in class, but there's just one way to do it, but realize that since they've read the essays, they're going to have a more informed discussion than people who have not read the essays. So they should be referring back to the source essays. So they should say something like, I agree with Gloria Naylor when she says this, or I agree with Jaymu Green when she says this. And the goal here is to get you to think about the ways in which we use other people's information to help support our ideas. As we've been talking about, I mentioned all the way from the first day of class that one of the goals of this course is to get you to think about the ways that we use other information to help build our own ideas. Our ideas don't just come out of nowhere. It's not like we create them 100% on our own. There is other information out there, and we look at all the available information. We see what these people say. We see what these other people say. We weigh that information, and we try and incorporate that into generating our own new ideas that are built upon other people's ideas. Again, these are our opinions, our ideas, but they're based upon what other people say. So what you're going to be doing is you're creating these characters in this dialogue. Again, they can be students, they can be professors, whoever it is, anybody who, for whatever reasons, has read these articles, who are going to say, look, I've got my ideas about how we should use these kinds of racial slurs, but they're based upon ideas that other people have had. And so it's recognizing that there's a conversation that's been going on about this. There's a conversation out there that people have been having. Realize that this isn't the first time that anybody has wanted to say something about these kinds of slurs. This has been going on for a long time. You've got people who have thought about it a lot, people whose job it is to write about some of these issues, and so you should be aware of what they're saying and then build your ideas on top of that. So you're going to create these characters who have these very different ideas. It's not a matter of what you actually believe. You will have the opportunity to talk more specifically about your beliefs in another assignment. But for this assignment, you're going to create two characters who have opposing views, and they're going to just argue back and forth. But again, they're going to argue based upon these other essays that they have read, this other information that they have out there. So all of their discussions are going to be based on that. They might quote directly from some of those essays. They might paraphrase from some of those essays, but somehow they're going to use those to build up those arguments. You don't want to create a situation in which one side decisively beats the other, right, just to get your ideas across. And instead, you want to really explore them and say, wait a minute, let's have two people who are evenly matched so we can kind of understand exactly where the arguments come from, as opposed to saying, here, let me create one person who knows more and the other person doesn't know anything and have them destroy it, the other person. I want you to create something that's going to be a bit more even so we can understand, respectfully understand where both sides of the issue come from. So that's something you can begin working on. You'll just have a draft due later, and so the first thing you have is a draft. So again, as with the other assignments, don't worry if it's not perfect right away, because you get full credit for your draft. So just go ahead and plug on through. We'll talk about it in class some on Thursday, but I just wanted to give you this so you can get an idea of how you're supposed to be thinking about this. All right, see you on Thursday.